Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Harry. I'm here for the Friday live at 5:30. Donna is on the way. She's actually right there. There she is. Um, so I titled this one "The Undiscovered Country," and there's a reason why. Um, basically, we uh, we we sort of have like a set bunch of rules and stuff like that involving how to start a business, how to get a business profiting, and how to maintain a business once it's in the position of success. Um, but that doesn't really exist anymore. Since the late 90s, maybe mid 2000s, it all started to change. Um, these changes didn't happen overnight. Uh, contemporary to the time, brick and mortar businesses didn't uh, immediately adapt to the internet. They didn't immediately move over to uh, using internet-based media to advertise. It was a slow process, and it happened over, I would say, like a good 2 decades
Yeah.
um, before it became a commonplace thing. Around the time when Facebook started is when um, uh, all businesses, if they were going to succeed, were going to be uh, online. Um,
I don't know.
it might have been about your car warranty.
It might have been.
The extended warranty on that car that you have.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so that changed, and that's only going back about a decade ago. Uh, and in the last decade, a lot has changed as well. We have
Yeah.
moved away from the classic brick and mortar style business. Um, Having a storefront doesn't mean much anymore, um, and this is really the undiscovered country. Uh, Using the internet as your complete business, so to speak, um, where your store exists, where all your advertisement exists, where all of your customers exist, is all in a non non material space. Uh, the things that we do know about the internet is that anybody can do it. And I don't mean to make it sound like dismissive. Anybody can do it. Uh, it's not financially. It's not a financial class based system. You, with very little finances whatsoever, can utilize this project, utilize this uh, uh, system to launch your business, to get your business, as we call it, viral, and then succeed, all without ever actually having a product. Um, a couple of years ago, there was a meme going around um, about Amazon, which is a store that doesn't really own any product, um, and Airbnb, which is a hotel business or a resort business that doesn't own any property. Uh, um, Hi, Diane. How are you? Um, uh, Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that little outage. I miss you too, Diane. Got a little excited there. So, where was I? Airbnb, a hotel that doesn't own any property whatsoever. Uh, Uber, a cab company that doesn't own any cars. Well, this world is full of stores that don't own any merchandise whatsoever.
Yeah, those
Um,
buildings are leased.
Meaning your entire production line can be outsourced. If you have an idea for a shirt, you can actually orchestrate a production line for that shirt, not actually ever have touched a single shirt except after it's been produced.
Print to order.
Where print to order, where you're taking orders, you're producing for those orders, but we're now learning. We're now learning. We're coming to terms with, and we're moving forward with. And this merchandise is anything from branding merch, like if you got shirts with a logo on it, or cups with a logo on it, where you're not actually creating any of that stuff whatsoever. You're basically paying out.
Designing the logo
Right.
or the piece of art. It's actually it's been around for a while when talking about the art world. Doing glacis printing, printing on demand of people's fine art, and now they're just applying that to all sorts of things now. So,
well, the extra added part of that is the fact that you don't actually even have to have a store.
Yeah.
That was something that came through in the last decade, where your entire production line could be outsourced. Your building fees are completely are your living arrangements, so they're your fees that you would have just for being alive, let alone running a business off of the internet. And all of this really to tell you that there are no more rules anymore. I mean, it's in the past, it was pretty much dictated by men in suits. Who is going to succeed, who is going to fail, who is going to get investments, who is not, who is going to make sales, and who was not. And that dynamic no longer exists. You don't need to have an advertisement on primetime television, because you can throw your product in front of everybody, everywhere, all the time, for next to nothing. This is not me saying go and spend $5, $10, $15 on Facebook ad. I don't do that. So I'm not saying that's something you should do. I am saying, however, having a Facebook account, having a YouTube account, any of the alternatives, having a Twitter, all of these things are free. You can literally have a free account to any type of social media, any type of SEO, and you can do all of your own advertising. One of the things that the network was based around is helping you by doing the advertising when you can't. It gives you an extra platform. It gives you a captive audience. And if you ask Leela from Homemade by Lala, I will whore your stuff out like a pimp from 1972. That's what I do, man. You can even ask Donna, because Donna, when she started this the guitar piece, she would put it on her page and it would be private, and I would yell at her that
I'm
that
shy.
that it needs to be public, because if no one sees it, no one's going to want to buy it, because no one's going to even know it exists.
Right.
And then finally she started putting things up on public, and then after putting things up on public for a little bit, what ended up happening is a whole bunch of other eyes got on it.
And now I'm behind.
And now she's behind.
I have orders.
And that's a good thing. You want to be behind. You want to
Yes.
have orders. You want to be like, oh, what am I going to do? I have a dozen people that want things, and I don't have enough time to give it.
I'm only one mere human artist.
And it's a good thing to have too much work.
Yes.
So the undiscovered country, the internet, we really don't have boundaries at this point. The boundaries that we have as far as business online is concerned is more of reality attempting to control what happens here. And it does. I mean, there are legal consequences to things that happen online. This is a reality that we live in. But as far as business is concerned, for people who are attempting to do business in good faith, and when I say that, meaning that they're not trying to scam people, they're not trying to get money for nothing.
Right.
There really is no limit to how you can succeed. I mean, for fuck's sake, there was a kid who was playing with toys, and he nets like $2 million a year off of YouTube. I mean, if that doesn't tell you that now's the time to start striking at this, well, it isn't. It was like 5 years ago was the time to start striking at this. Anybody who hasn't started is 5 years behind. I'm 5 years behind. So we really got to make up for lost time, but there's nothing saying that any of the rules that we assumed we had to follow, any of the pathways that we assumed we had to walk on, are even relevant anymore. So there's that.
Back in the day, music, musicians thought, in order to be considered a success, you must get signed to a label. And that's just really not the case these days. Over the last 2 decades, I seen the metamorphosis of the underground hip hop scene, the underground rap scene, musicians taking and utilizing the tools that they have with their computers, like Fruity Loops or whatnot, and have been creating their own scene and making their own money. And people like my friend Matt Ills is an inspiration. He's doing things here locally and globally, and he utilized YouTube to his benefit. So it is something that a lot of people would benefit, if they learn how to tap into it. So
Funny thing is, I'm just looking at I'm monitoring the broadcast on another computer, and it's got closed captioning on it. And Mad Ills is apparently Matt Ellis. It's funny. Anyway.
Sorry, Josh.
That's also true. Also, another thing about the music industry is that generally the old form of success got completely sidestepped by applications like Spotify, Pandora,
Bandcamp.
There are plenty of apps out there, and people have been met with tremendous amounts of success without ever making a deal with a label whatsoever.
People got wise to the tort,
Right.
like read that fine print, and they've seen that they're better off venturing on their own and collaborating with other like-minded artists. So
yeah, like not to sidestep the whole subject, but if you're in the music industry and you sign to a major label, you don't own anything that you play in that studio. That's always been the case ever since way back in the days of Nashville turnaround business. Where Johnny Cash got his start. You play in that studio owns that music, and when they decide they want somebody else to play it, well, tough shit for you. Uh, uh, Not to really sidetrack too deep into this, but Donna's got family involved in that. So if you really want to know all about how bad that can be, you can talk to Donna about her uncle.
Well, we called him uncle, but cousin.
Yeah. Good. Older cousin. So and also the story of what's his face from NoFX.
Oh, Mark Curry and El Jefe.
Yeah. So
being lifted by
you
Green
can
Day.
you can talk to her about that stuff if you're really interested, or she can do like a different live video about it, because it's a really interesting story. But it really just highlights the legal reality behind
copyright,
intellectual property and copyright music, and what happens when you use the studio's equipment.
Right.
That's basically the gist of that, and that whole dynamic is shattering with the advent of home studios that just about anybody for less than $1,000 can really accumulate. And I'm going to say this, outside of the computer, I would say the MIDI controller, the audio interface, the headphones. So without any instruments whatsoever, my home studio costs about $1,000. So with that type of threshold, as opposed to a few $100,000 to get a studio built, we've really that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, sidestepping traditional methods. So even if you go, well, this is ridiculous, why am I producing X, Y, or Z? Who am I to do that? Well, you're you, and that's the reason why. A few weeks ago I was talking about vibing your tribe, and that's 100% what that's about. Is that yeah, sure, you make a product that a big industrial maker makes, and a whole bunch of other people make, but they're not you. And that's the other. Yesterday, day before, what are people buying? They're buying you. They're not buying your product first. The first thing they're buying is the person who's selling it. They want your story. They want to know about you. They want to see you succeed. Not so much a matter of XYZ is better than ABC. It's, I know XYZ's story, and that resonates with me. So I'm going to put my money towards that. And people don't really look at it this way, but they're investing in you because they sympathize. Either way, your story your story resonates on some level with your consumer. So have fun exploring the undiscovered country. I'm having fun doing it. This is about survival. I'm going to tell you right now, like the old worker employer world is slowly dying, kicking and screaming, but slowly dying. And I see this happening within the next 5 to 10 years, maybe, that having a job in a traditional sense is not going to be suitable for most people or beneficial for most people. With that said, well, we have to try and figure out what we're going to do in the future. Your future self, is that person going to be happy with the choices you made, or is that person going to be mad at you? And I'm just trying to put the options out there to make sure that we're making the right choices for our future self, because tomorrow's tomorrow, but 10 years from now it's a world of difference, and you want to prepare the situation for that self, not the person you are today, but the person you're going to become.
A good practice is to look back 10 years ago and where were you? What were you doing 10 years ago? And then,
That's depressing. 10 years ago, I was working for Disney. And I'm still working for Disney.
I was building radio networks and
I
was building radio networks and doing a DIY thing because I was doing like PR for people that were, in situations. And as an activist, I didn't feel comfortable with leaving my words with the general media. The mainstream media has a way of doing things. So in order to get the stories out for people and my story out, I had to do it my way. I had to build the networks from the ground up.
Oh, sorry.
But you had to learn a lot of things, You had to diversify your skill set,
Yeah. Also, try to be kind with yourself, because we're all kind of learning here.
Yeah.
Just to be fair. Holy crap. It's been like 23 minutes.
Oh.
I'm full of words today, apparently.
Mr. Chatty.
Well, I'm going to cut it here because
Yeah.
I've got actual shit that I have to do, and I haven't done it yet. Shame on me. What's it called? So I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm off tomorrow. I might be doing a live tomorrow, but that has to do with something completely different than this. Maybe. It really depends on whether or not I can get it all together tonight, so that I can have it ready to roll tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe. Possibly. Everyone stay safe. Have a good day. Sorry about the little hiccups here and there. And have fun exploring the new possibilities of this undiscovered country. Ta-da!